support, alimony, complex asset distribution, post-judgment modifications, and paternity actions. For expert representation in all aspects of divorce and family law, contact attorney Tina Lewert today at 561-544-6861 or visit www.lewertlaw.com. At the law firm of Bilu and Bilu, we can help you if you are facing foreclosure. Don't lose your home due to foreclosures by the bank or mortgage company. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu at 954-596-0669. You have rights and we can help you exercise them. At Bilu and Bilu, your first consultation is always free. If your home is underwater or you are behind on your mortgage and you're confused about what to do, we can help. Call our office today, 954-596-0669 or 1-877-BILU-LAW. That's 1-877-BILU-LAW. At Bilu and Bilu, our lawyers have more than 20 years combined experience in real estate law. The banks have lawyers, and so should you. The lawyers at Bilu and Bilu can help you modify your loan or apply for a short sale while they defend your case in court. Contact the lawyers at Bilu and Bilu today so you can sleep easy tonight. Your home is your castle. Trust the professionals at Bilu and Bilu to defend it for you. The law office of Bilu and Bilu handles foreclosure defense in Broward and Palm Beach and all 67 Florida counties. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu today at 954-596-0669 or visit us on the web at bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com.
We're sitting here talking about rock bands. Rockfest 80 is coming to Sunrise.
To Sunrise.
At Markham Park.
A great venue, lots of
You've
fun.
seen it? I have never seen it before.
Yeah, I was out there for the second or third Langerado Festival. It was so long ago that my 6-month-old was sitting in the stroller boogieing out to De La Soul.
Wow.
Back in the day.
So anyway, Trickster's going to be there, and you know all these, don't you?
I do. I remember them. They bring me back to bad memories of jeans jackets and long hair. And
yeah, what
really
these people are going to look
t-shirts.
like. We also have from
No hair
Poison
anymore.
is going to be out there. Brett Michaels is going to be.
Michaels.
Yeah.
Speaking of rock stars with no hair.
Yeah, really.
He looks kind of like you, Steve.
Anyway, yeah, we're like talking about the 80s. We have with us Gil Bilu. This is the easiest show. We do 10 shows a month. This is the easiest show I've got. This guy is Mr. Passion. I know there's something new. Every time he comes in, you've got a new story. And even Tina said, God, when he talks, he's so passionate when you know what you're doing.
I always catch the end of Tina's show when I'm in here, man. I love Tina. She's a trip. And it's funny. She goes, I'm a divorce attorney. I don't really know anything about real estate. Well, it's kind of funny because one thing, when we're doing, especially when we're dealing with foreclosure defense, it's a lot like divorce. Except that maybe we're trying to save the marriage, more like marriage counselors in that sense. You come in and like, what are we doing with the house? Are we going to be able to save it? Are we going to be able to repair our relationship with our mortgage company? Are we going for all-out war with a divorce, or are we going to enter into an MSA, good marital settlement agreement, where you take the tissue paper cover that we got in the Keys when we were on our honeymoon, and I'll take the dog, right?
Which it was that easy, right?
I've had people fight over tissue. I did family law for like 3 months, man. It was awful.
Now, before we go any further, we have to give out your website.
We do,
because they can actually watch the show live today.
They can,
and they can go back and watch past shows. So your website is
www.bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com. Go on. There's a lot of great info on there. You can watch the show on there, not while you're driving.
Do you do your website yourself?
No.
There's so much great information on there.
We provide the content, but we have our web guys that put it together. I can only do so many things once. I got to sleep every once in a while. Every once in a while. But anyway, so it's kind of funny, right? We're almost like marriage counselors, right? We're trying to work the issues out between you and your mortgage company, and maybe we got to do a short sale. Maybe we've got to do a maybe we're going to do a little modification, repair the marriage, and set out better terms for it. Who takes out the trash when, who walks. No way, I'm fixated on this old dog thing. I don't even have a dog.
You don't even, after all that, you don't even have a dog?
Yeah, I don't even have a dog, right? So we step into that role, and a lot of times we're working as counselors, for our clients, because sometimes this can be a tough decision. And I've got one this week. Actually, we just settled it yesterday. Can't believe that was just yesterday.
How long?
How long? Oh, my God. Loan's been in default since 2013.
About 3 years ago.
3 years ago. They were filed the very beginning of 14 or the very, very end of 13. We're set for trial. It's coming April.
Stayed in their house this whole time.
They've been in their house. Well, the funny you say they've been in their house the whole time. So it's a married couple that is not going to be married much longer. They actually were in the process of splitting up, I'd say probably for the last year or so. So now I'm stuck in this kind of weird situation where I'm like, look, I'm representing both of them.
Yeah.
So they're both in the house. And then things go south for them, right? So now I'm representing one of them. I'm representing both of them still, but now one of them's living in the house. One of them's not living in the house. And now I've got to kind of balance between the two of them, or I can't represent both anymore because, I've been in situations where we have exes living in a spouse with another ex on the mortgage, and it become a real mess. So right now we have this situation where husband and wife, both responsible on the note. One party's living in the house and saying, hey, man, I want to stay here as long as possible. And the other's going, well, I'm not in there. So, the more this hurts my credit and the more I've got this potential deficiency judgment against me, the more I want this done with. And, luckily I used all my fabulous negotiating skills, not only with the bank's attorney, but now I'm using my fabulous negotiating skills with my clients going, look, let's find a way to keep you both happy, right? Because, at least the longer that you've got one household that doesn't have housing expenses as you're splitting up, the more marital assets there are for you guys to work with. And this can be, something that we can work with. And what we were able to do is we got the property listed for a short sale. Thank God we finally got a contract on it. It looks like it's going to be beautiful.
House sold.
Like it hasn't sold yet. We just got the contract in. In the meantime, now we're set for trial, but I got to have a backup plan. What happens if my buyer backs out, right? So I've got it set up so that I was able
You're handling all the real estate end of it.
I'm handling the real estate end of it.
But you do everything.
Well. Right? Absolutely. Transactional and litigation. We do all of it. And this way it's good because I'm in control of the whole process. I don't look like a control freak, but, when it comes to taking care of my clients, I am a complete control freak. And so now we're in the situation, we've got the short sale, but, what happens if your buyer walks away? Your buyer, God forbid, dies. Your buyer doesn't get approved for their mortgage to take out the property. There's 100 things that can go wrong. Now, what I worked out with the bank, I said, look, we really don't want to keep the house. It's not going to work out in the long run because then I've got that divergent issue. I got one guy that, one person wants to stay there, one person that doesn't want to stay there and wants it off their back. I got to pick one or the other at that point.
Right.
And I can't represent both if they both have divergent interests, right? So worked out with the bank where we're agreeing to a sale date and it's far out in the future. Give me what should be more than enough time to negotiate a short sale, get a settlement agreement, and get and close the deal. More importantly, because there's nothing worse than getting a short sale approved, going to the court and saying, "Hey, court, look, we've got a foreclosure sale scheduled tomorrow. We got a short sale that's supposed to close in 3 weeks." And we've gotten approval, and we just need you to go ahead and cancel the sale, then reset it. And sometimes the court says yes, and most of the time, especially when I go in there, the court says yes. But sometimes the court says no, and now I've put all this work into negotiating a short sale, and the property's gone to sale. I've got a disappointed buyer. I've got very upset realtors who've put a lot of time and energy into this. And here's the thing, right? If I wasn't the one who negotiated a settled judgment, a consent judgment, there's a good chance that the bank never agreed to waive the deficiency against the sellers, against the homeowners. So what does that mean? I mean, that's a total disaster, right? Because now not only because the short sale didn't go through, these people could be stuck with massive deficiency. What I try to do anytime we're in a situation like that, where it looks like the clients don't want to keep the property, right? I work out with the bank where they waive the deficiency against my clients. And I've got a couple of dirty little strategies I use when the bank gives me
That could be a lot of
resistance.
money too, couldn't it?
It could be a lot of money. I mean, look, I've seen potential deficiencies of properties $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. You know, especially when people took out loans at the height of the market and took out an equity line and maxed out, or maxed out the equity in the house, and you had a big drop in value. You're talking big deficiency sometimes. And so, we really, have to put a lot of care into dealing with each of our clients. And we like to talk to them. We like to get to know them. It's why we always make sure one of the attorneys is there for a consultation. We don't put our paralegals on the consultations. The consultations are free. We'll sit with you. If you want to schedule an appointment for one, it's 954-596-0669. Call, schedule an appointment to talk to myself or my partner, Ron. We'll be happy to sit down and talk with you, help you work out the best plan. And, that's really, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do in these situations. We're trying to get these worked out.
And, we're going to talk about your new division.
My new division.
Because, but I want to say first, because we talked about this with Tina, this is 85% of what you do, foreclosures and business and real estate. It's most of your
you
practice.
Just named about 100% of what I do. When you added all those practice areas in.
But you
absolutely.
don't know, like, criminal and personal injury. We're going to get to that.
We're going to get to that.
What I'm saying is you've got to go with someone who knows this business, because you just told me about laws that changed.
Yeah.
I mean, and if someone is like kind of part-time on this and has to go find his foreclosure hat, might not be able to find it.
Absolutely. I just got a call this afternoon as a referral from another attorney that I know. Guy's been through 5 real estate attorneys just trying to buy a house. And there's a couple issues that need to get worked out ahead of time. And I'm, he explained to me briefly over the phone, we've got an appointment set up. But, man, I'm like, well, it's a little complicated, but nothing I can't handle. Nothing that I can't do. And so the fact that I'm like, the way you've been through 5 attorneys that can't get this done and can't give you a straight answer, I can't figure that out. Because it's relatively straightforward.
I got to tell people don't know this, but you're actually representing a friend of Renee's.
Yeah, I am.
And she has bragged on you. You met with her about a month and a half ago. She was so impressed with you. I just wanted to let you know, because it's important, because you got to be able to get along with the client.
Absolutely.
It's very important.
Tina was talking about how you and Tina were talking about, I listened to your show when I'm out in the hallway here. And you and Tina were talking about how, the relationship with your attorney is important. And, when it's criminal, when it's foreclosure defense, when it's divorce, absolutely, that relationship, the approachability of your attorney is so vital to you feeling comfortable as a client with knowing what's going on and knowing that someone that you've trusted with something really important is on top of it. Look, when it's, some of these other areas of law, you don't necessarily need that big of a personal relationship with your attorney. You want to know that they care. Personal injury, and I'll use that as a great example. And God bless personal injury attorneys, man. They do a fantastic job, at least the ones that do the fantastic jobs. They're not going to have that same type of client relationship. They're going to find out about what's going on with the client. They're going to care because they need to present that to a jury. They need to present that at mediation. But the clients know that the real motivation for them is getting the biggest settlement possible because they're getting a contingency. While I do work on some contingencies, it's normally only on me winning a trial.
It's not the norm.
Well, I'm not going to say it's not the norm. It's the norm when I go to trial.
Yes.
But not every client needs me to go to trial. And every client is like a special little snowflake. And I really, it sounds a little sarcastic.
I know you
but
really mean that, because you always talk about you want to do the best for your client you possibly can.
Right.
So you always, that's who you are. And, it shows with your passion.
Right. And it really, it's something that I'm passionate about. It's also something that, at the end of the day, that if I know that I've made somebody's life better, if I've helped them move on from a bad situation, or I've helped them repair a bad situation, and turn it into a good one, man, I'm happy to be that catalyst for change for them. I love it when somebody comes to me, after years after I finished representing them, we got them a loan mod, we did a short sale, and they're like, all right, man, I've moved on to a new venture. I'm buying an investment property. I need your help. Or I'm running out another property. I need your help. Or, I've started a new business. I need your help. And we want to be there for everything. Fortunately, some ones go from bad to worse, right? Now it's like, all right, well, now I need to file a bankruptcy. Or, man, I just got popped for DUI. Or, you're never going to believe what happened when I slipped on a blueberry at Publix. And so what we've done is we actually formed a new law firm as well. It's called the Florida Trial
And we're
Group.
going to talk. We're going to
Oh,
go
we're
to
talking
break
about
right
cutting me
now.
off? All right.
And when we come back, we're going to spend the next 15 minutes talking about this new venture for you. I think it's incredible.
I'm all over it.
We'll be right back.
At the law firm of Bilu and Bilu, we can help you if you are facing foreclosure. Don't lose your home to the foreclosures by the bank or mortgage company. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu at 954-596-0669. You have rights and we can help you exercise them. At Bilu and Bilu, your first consultation is always free. If your home is underwater or you are behind on your mortgage and you're confused about what to do, we can help. Call our office today, 954-596-0669 or 1-877-BILU-LAW. That's 1-877-BILU-LAW. At Bilu and Bilu, our lawyers have more than 20 years combined experience in real estate law. The banks have lawyers, and so should you. The lawyers at Bilu and Bilu can help you modify your loan or apply for a short sale while they defend your case in court. Contact the lawyers at Bilu and Bilu today so you can sleep easy tonight. Your home is your castle. Trust the professionals at Bilu and Bilu to defend it for you. The law office of Bilu and Bilu handles foreclosure defense in Broward and Palm Beach and all 67 Florida counties. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu today at 954-596-0669 or visit us on the web at bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com.
Okay. Oh, we're back. We're sitting here talking about Gil's new venture.
We're gabbing.
And just so you give everybody your phone number.
All right. Once again, call us for a free consultation. Anything to do with real estate, anything to do with business or civil litigation, 954-596-0669. Check us out on the web, www.bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com. Or you can follow me on Twitter at GBilu. I'll give you a whole bunch of information on a whole bunch of different topics. You might even get to know just a little peek of the real me.
So about 2 months ago, you started telling me that you're going to change. Well, first of all, you're getting a new office.
Yeah, we're moving down to a new office. Yeah, updating our look. I got a new hairstyle for those of you who've been watching me on the web.
And now
we're updating the office too.
Explain now this new venture.
So we're still Bilu and Bilu, and we're still very happy to provide that kind of service to our clients. But, you know, I was telling you, people are coming to us going, hey, you're such great lawyers. I need you to help me with a slip and fall. I need you to help me with probating a will. I need you to help me because my son got arrested for doing something stupid at a college party. Whatever the situation.
Immigration?
Right? Immigration, absolutely, all over it. And so what we've done is we've aligned ourselves with some of the best attorneys in South Florida that handle these areas of law. And we're calling ourselves the Florida Trial Group. Now, look, if you come to me with a slip and fall case, I'll talk to you about it. I'll find out your story. I'm not going to be the attorney handling your case because you want somebody that is going to knock it out of the park. And so what we've done is we've aligned ourselves with the Berman Law Group.
They're wonderful.
They're amazing.
I know.
Unbelievable.
The brothers, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Twin brothers.
Yeah.
Fantastic guys, super nice, super smart, amazing attorneys. You know, great trial attorneys. I'm in awe of them sometimes when I watch them. Man.
Now, they're in
fantastic.
Boca, right?
They're in Boca Raton. They've got offices in Stewart and Gainesville. We've got our office. We're kind of the Broward. We're the Broward presence. And the one thing they don't do business. They don't do real estate. So we're doing all that. They're doing, and we're working together, man. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see that we're able to help our clients. That they know they got a one-stop shop now. That they can come to us, and we can put them in touch with experts in just about whatever field you need. And again, you know, if there's some small portion that we're not covering now, we still know attorneys.
So you're going to be doing criminal?
Doing criminal, trusts, trust and estates,
estate planning,
probate litigation, estate planning. We are going to be handling immigration. Of course, we're still going to be handling business disputes. We're still going to be handling everything that we do now. So we'll still be handling your real estate, litigation. We'll still be handling your
Social
real estate
Security
transaction.
Law?
I don't think we're doing so. We might be doing some Social Security. I'm not sure on the disability quite yet. Doing a lot more expanding our consumer practice. Still working on the bankruptcies. We're going to be your one-stop shop for everything. And I think this is going to be something that's going to grow huge in this year.
I love the concept.
I love it, man. It's great. You know, it's we're aligning ourselves with the very best in the business, and that's really, really the best way to do it. So I got to tell you though. So I was at a mediation this week. It's a case, man, we filed back in 2010.
Is this another person you kept in their house?
No, this is something completely different.
Okay.
One of my favorite realtors. I love her to death. I really do. I've known her for, God, I don't even know. I've known her longer than I've known some of my kids. That's how long I've known this realtor. She's been sending me business. We work together. She'd been working for another real estate broker who, lack of a better word, just jacked her commission, just stole them and fired her. We filed suit, and it just started to get. And this is right as the real estate market started to plummet. Well, during the plummet, actually, we're doing a lot of short sales for her, and you know, this litigation's been going on. They got a good attorney who's been fighting me in court. Nothing's been moving. I've been worried about the plaintiff not having money. The defendant not having money. It's just been a nightmare. The client got sick in the middle of it, kind of put a hamper on the litigation. I mean, it was just. So we go to mediation this week. And, you know, I always tell my clients, right, that when you go to a mediation, a good compromise, a good settlement means that everybody's walking away equally unhappy. Well, I got to say, they walked away a lot more unhappy than we did. And, you know, the reason I say that is you know, like I said, the attorney on their side is a good guy. I like him. I see him in court all the time. We talk. You know, we shoot strategy back and forth on other cases, obviously not on this case. But, you know, look, I respect him, man. He's a sharp attorney, knows what he's doing, did some time in the state attorney's office, knows what he's doing. He's good at trial. But I always try to keep a couple tricks in my pocket. I can't really talk about the tricks that I had in my back pocket, but they came in thinking that they were going to get off cheap. And my client is walking away with more money than she could have, than she should have expected.
That's a great story.
It was not easy. And, you know, look, we had a good mediator. And my client had good representation. They had good representation, but we walked away with something that my client's not getting 100% of what she wanted, but she's getting more than we expected.
Now, I know you've told me about how the courts are changing. What's going on with foreclosure now as to getting in and getting out?
All right. So the courts, and they've been doing this, and they've been honing it in, especially Broward and Palm Beach. They've been really honing in on putting not my case, but the foreclosure cases on what I call the death march. Basically, they've worked out a system where we used to rely on the plaintiff's attorneys, the bank's attorneys, just being overloaded, not working real fast, and that's helped our clients out a lot. It's helped us buy time. It's helped us push these cases out. Well, these foreclosure divisions were getting overloaded. And then all of a sudden you had this rise of a really strong foreclosure defense bar, which I'm a part of, really making life living hell for these bank's attorneys. To the point, I mean, I'll tell you now.
So trying to speed it up.
Well, no, we're trying to slow it down, right? So the court's like, all right, we need to speed this thing up,
right,
and we need to impose order because we can't normally, right? You can count on a plaintiff to push their case along, right? Plaintiff wants something. They should be pushing their case forward. They should be pushing their case along. But the bank's attorneys weren't doing it. They were so overloaded. They were getting paid flat fees. They didn't care.
Wow.
You know, and like, I mean, at this point, I can't even count how many plaintiff law firms have now pulled out of South Florida or just closed down, merged into other firms. It's happening. There's just a couple of them left, and they're getting better, and they're getting smarter. And at the same time, the judges are like, all right, we need to clear out this backlog. The last 2 years, man, they've been clearing them out. And they've been putting us on these death marches to trial so that if you don't.
Now, what is a death march?
Well, basically, they're just pushing you to trial.
Wow.
They're pushing it. Basically, they're now pulling us in on case management conferences, right?
So how long? It used to be for how long you would stay in your house?
You could stay in your house sometimes for a year or 2 years doing nothing without even hiring an attorney.
And I even know someone you kept in their house for 3 years.
That was without hiring an attorney. That was with hiring an attorney, right? And look, there were some that moved faster. Now these cases are moving so fast. I had one guy come in that from the time the suit was filed to the time of judgment was entered, we're talking 6 months.
Wow.
That's you know, we were averaging at one point 2.5 years in Florida. Now is it 6 months because the plaintiffs' firms are getting sharper, and the judge, man, every time we go into court now, right? We're on case management conferences, CMCs. They set us for those every 30 to 45 days on a lot of our cases, right? And here's basically what the judge is saying. You hear the parent on Peanuts going, wow, 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 right? So to your average non-attorney that's, you're in wow, 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 what does it mean? Here's what the judge is saying. Why are we not at trial? How can we get to trial? What will you do to make sure that the next time you come here, I can set you for a trial? let's get this set for trial.
So they're speeding you up now.
They're speeding everything up. And, of course, we're doing everything to stop that trial from going forward. But when we're ready for trial, we want to be ready for trial. And it's getting harder. And I will tell you that lately, you know, I've heard a lot of my brothers and sisters in the foreclosure defense field say, wow, man, I had this great case and I went up there and plaintiffs' attorneys are better than they used to be. The judges are a lot less receptive. They're not applying the law in the way we think they should apply the law. There have been appeals coming down that are really narrowly clarifying fine points. I mean, the amount, it's amazing. I looked at last year's, the appeals that came down last year, all through Florida. And what an appeal is basically you went to trial and one party won, one party lost. Somebody says the law wasn't applied correctly. We're going to go up to another court. We're going to ask them to take a look at this fresh and say, hey, something was wrong or something was right. Well, we're getting a lot more opinions where the judges are splitting hairs and going, well, yeah, we know that the law says this, and we know that we've ruled like this before, but in this case, it's an exception. And a lot of those cases are not coming down on the side of homeowners, which means, one, you need to have more, you need to have a stronger attorney going into your trial for you, that you're really prepared to argue every nuance of the latest law. And I tell you, every case that comes down, every notable case that comes down, I get email and bulletins. I check them out, once, twice a week at least. Within a couple of days, that decision being down, I've read it, I've cataloged it, I'm ready to rock with it and apply it to my cases. And this is just what we're up against. So, you
got to get somebody who knows what they're doing.
Don't just assume
just because they're a lawyer,
right? Don't just assume that the bank is not going to follow up on it, and don't assume that any lawyer is a good lawyer. Give us a call 954-596-0669.
Yeah, we got a minute left.
Check us out on the web, www.bilulaw.com, or you can, always follow me on Twitter, like I said, at gbilu. As I hear the closing music, I just want to say one thing. 2 weeks ago, or no, this past weekend, we lost a giant in the legal field, Antonin Scalia, Supreme Court Justice of the United States. Not my favorite justice, but, man, eminent scholar, brilliant guy. I might not always agree with him and his approach to the Constitution, but I can never fault him on his bona fides as a jurist. And you know what? The court lost something with him, and rest in peace, my good man.
That's nice. Listen, Gil Bilu of Bilu and Bilu, I hope you've learned you got to get someone who really knows now, more than ever, knows what they're doing. We will see you next Thursday at 5 o'clock with more Ask the Experts. Everybody have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Peace out, Cub Scouts.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Experts show with Steve-O and Renee. Tune in every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. while some of the top local experts in their field from Broward and Palm Beach counties educate you in the areas of law, health, financial, and home improvement. You can also call our offices at 888-574-6999 to become an expert on our show. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
If you've decided to get back to feeling good again like you used to feel, then you're invited to tune in to the Dr. Bob Martin Show. Hi, I'm Dr. Bob, at your service Sunday mornings at 10 on Talk 1470 WNN.
Talk 1470 WWNN Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
AM 1470 WNN with more of what you need to know. Start your day with the Steve Kane Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. on South Florida's Health and Wealth Network, AM 1470 WNN. The South Palm Beach County chapter of the National Parkinson Foundation fosters general awareness to the estimated 60,000 Parkinson disease patients living here in South Florida. The chapter strives to provide support, advocacy, activities, and community to PD patients and their families. And now they have a radio show right here on AM 1470 WNN. You can help. Contact their offices